Hey guys, so I thought I'd do a bit of some quick reviews of movies that I've seen from the beginning of the year, and grade them because it's kind of like, you know. But anyways, I've been kind of slack on this, so I'm gonna catch up with these. Okay, the first movie I'm gonna be talking about is How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. I thought this was a fantastic conclusion to the How to Train Your Dragon films. If they be like Pixar with Toy Story and they do a fourth one, I would not really be that happy because I thought this really ended on a perfect, perfect ending. Pretty much this told the story of Hiccup and the town of Burke, and they pretty much have to find this new, place called the Hidden World that Hiccup remembers his father talking to him about. But there's this new dragon slayer who wants to pretty much hunt down all the dragons. And so yeah, it's up to Hiccup and the Banana Boat to find this place, and they may even know if this place exists. But yeah, is this the best of the film in the series? I do think the second one is slightly better, but I do think this is actually better than the first film. But yeah, if I had to have one flaw for this movie, it would have to be, I think the villain was a little bit weak. It wasn't really it wasn't really the strongest villain we've had in like animated films. Not just in this series, but I think in animated films, definitely he's probably one of the weakest we've had. But anyways, I still had a blast with this movie. I'm going to give How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World an A. Okay, the next movie I want to talk about is The Kid Who Would Be King. This was a movie I saw the trailers to, and I really wanted to go see this. Pretty much just tells the story of this kid named Alex who pulls the sword out of the stone. Pretty much the sword of Excalibur, and then with the help from Merlin, him and his friend, who unfortunately cannot remember the name of, have to fight off this evil mistress. I have like 3 days to fight off this evil mistress, or pretty much the world will come to an end. This movie definitely was much more different to what I expected it would be. It's definitely a very dark movie. There are times in the movie where it got really kind of dark. That's what I actually really enjoyed about this movie, is how dark it can get at times, especially when, Alex and all his friends are fighting off against, the villain, like the villain and kind of her ghosts and everything. I thought that it was really shot, really well done. This movie is a little bit too long. It's like 2 hours long, where it easily could have been 90 minutes long. But hey, sometimes it's just how it is, isn't it? But yeah, I thought the kids gave off a really great performance in this movie. I especially loved Merlin. He was actually the best character in this movie. And yeah, the only flaw I would have about this movie is that it is a little bit too long. But apart from that, it's still a fun movie to go watch. I would give The Kid Who Will Be King a B+. I mean, honestly, if you haven't seen this movie, please go out and see it. The next movie I want to talk about is Stan and Ollie. This tells a true story about these two comedic acts, Oliver Hardy, Stan Laurel, and it pretty much is like 12 years after they become popular, and kind of their fame is kind of easing out, but also Oliver is suffering major health issues, so they kind of had to think to themselves, do we retire? But they don't want to retire because they love doing what they're doing. I think this is probably one of the best movies of the year so far. I definitely it has its serious moments and its funny moments, and it connects really well with those. Yeah, I really had a good time with Stan and Ollie, and I would give it an A. The next movie we're going to talk about is A Dog Ways Home. This was a fine movie, definitely not perfect. I saw the trailer to this movie and I thought it looked pretty good. And yeah, this is definitely a fun movie. This pretty much shows a story of a dog named Bella and her owner. And pretty much, the town they live in doing a lot of pit bulls, and so her owner has to find a new like a new place to live in, and then she tries to find her way back home, and pretty much the second half of the movie is kind of her journey going back home. And yeah, I mean the first, I definitely think the first half of this movie was probably really weak, didn't really pick itself up, but the second half definitely picked up a little bit more. As I said, it's a fine movie, definitely could have been better, but it's by no means a bad movie. And so I would give A Dog Ways Home a B. Okay, the next movie we want to talk about is a Lego Movie 2, the second part. Yeah, this was a movie that I was kind of iffy about. You know, I do like the first Lego movie, like a Batman movie. I really enjoyed that. I think it's even better. The Lego Ninjago movie was kind of okay, definitely not a great film. And this is definitely an enjoyable movie. As you pretty much said, like kind of like it's like 5 years or a year after the events of the first movie, and pretty much is like this new threat with Mama Mageddon. And like the biggest problem with this movie I found was the story. The story kind of really is all over the place. But I guess maybe if I gave this movie a second watch, I'd probably like it more than the first time. Because I mean, yeah, the first time definitely. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it definitely falls into the problems that the Lego Ninjago movie had, where it had a kind of a weak, predictable story, despite some pretty much, despite some good characters and some great animation. It definitely had some, some pretty weak writing. This doesn't have as weak writing as the Lego Ninjago movie has, but it definitely does fall into that problem that the Lego Ninjago movie has. It does have a weak story, but hey, it's definitely an enjoyable movie. I would give the Lego Movie 2, the second part, a B minus. Okay, two more movies to talk about, guys. I'm going to be talking about Dumbo now. Oh boy, was this a pain to sit through. This is easily one of the most disappointing movies I have seen this year. So far, it's the worst movie I've seen this year. Man, I haven't seen the original Dumbo, but yeah. So let's talk about this. If you don't know what Dumbo is, like he's like a magical elephant that can fly. But the biggest problem with this version of it, it's directed by Tim Burton. The biggest problem with this movie is the story. The story felt slow, felt boring. It didn't really pick up anywhere. Like the human characters mainly were just bland and boring, except for Danny DeVito and Michael Keaton as the villain. Everything else, like especially this family, just doesn't reconnect. The story is just boring and slow. Everything in this movie just felt slow. It felt boring. The only acceptable thing in this movie is the scenes with Dumbo. But then again, they're not the best scene, not like fantastic scenes. This is just, it's definitely, I gotta say, it's Tim Burton's worst movie he's done so far. I really didn't like this movie. I'm gonna give Dumbo a D minus. Okay, the last movie I'm talking about is Shazam now. This movie, I absolutely loved. Pretty much it's the story of Billy Baxton, and he's been like running away from foster homes his entire life, and then he gets accepted into this new foster family. While he's deciding, I'm going to run away from this foster family again, he gets he bumps into this wizard, who pretty much asks, he pretty much chooses him to be this hero Shazam to stop this evil villain called Dr. Savannah. And so for the help from his new friends at this foster home, it's trying to defeat this new villain. I absolutely loved this movie. I thought it was funny. It was well written. It was well directed, well acted. The villain's movie, absolutely loved him. Zachary Levi as Billy and Shazam. man, was absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely adored this movie. I'm going to give Shazam an A+. Come on, the last time I did that. Okay guys, thank you for watching. I'll be back into some more regular reviews and everything. And guys, movies will be good, movies will be bad, but I review them anyways. Catch you later.